Hello all, Donna here. Now today's tutorial is the optical pyramid. Now I had used this one in the ring, mandala ring class, and some of you wanted to know how to do it, so hey, here I am. We're gonna do it. Now this is actually the second time I'm shooting it. You know, the first time was to make this gray one, and I thought I might include it and show you, but you know what? It is just flat out harder to do. And so why should I teach you the harder way to do it when I can teach you the simpler way, which is what this is. Now, this does require that you have some careful cutting, and you're going to definitely want to have a good, sturdy, stiff blade. You're not going to want to do this cutting with one of those really skinny, noodly, flexy blades, okay? You're going to need this. Other than that, I can say, you know, it's really a good way to make this cane. I decided to make it in yellow because I already have purple and I already have gray. Yep. If I kept on going, I'd have some in every color, but I'm not going to keep on going because this is the way to make the optical cane. Let's talk about it. So let's start by mixing our colors. Now, I mixed. What my recommendation to you would be, try to mix the equivalent of one package of clay. That is 56 grams. Now, because I came running down here and thought, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it in these colors and blah, blah, blah. I didn't really do that, but I think it would have been easier had I just started with the stated goal of 56 grams and then done all my calculations based on 56. In other words, yellow orange, also known as American cheese, is actually 17 parts, like a ton of yellow and 1 part of orange. That's 17 parts. Well, you're just going to take 56 grams, divide it by 17, and that gives you the parts, right? You multiply 16 times whatever the part weight is, and then you hop over to your scale. Much, much easier than cutting out little pieces of clay with a cutter. Now here we have 6 parts to make this color, this sunflower color. And so I would take the 56 grams and divide them by 6. Now there's going to be a little bit more, a little bit less of the yellow orange because 1 part of this sunflower color is actually the yellow orange. So I reduced the volume of this by 1 of these parts. Not critical. To me, it's not critical. Okay, so the last color is Ecru, my version of Ecru. And this is what it requires. 1 part of yellow, 3 parts brown, 15 parts of white. Same thing, 56 grams, divide it by 19, and you will get your part weight. Multiply it out again, weigh, and then mix, and you've got your color. So if you don't have a kitchen scale or a gram scale to weigh your clay, I would highly recommend getting one if you like doing color mixing, because it will save you so much time and so much effort. Okay, so I've got my colors mixed. Now it's time to begin. I've provided this template sheet for you, and what it is are hexagons of different sizes. Now, a perfect hexagon has 6 corners that are 120 degrees, and that's what we want because this angle, this angle, this angle is 120 degrees, okay? I'm not a math person, but I love geometry. This is 120 degrees. So what we're going to be using is this angle here, all right? Now I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cut it out because I really want my cane to be no larger than that. I could even pick a smaller one, simply make a smaller cane, but I will do that and then I'll be back. Here's my template, and I'm just going to take my handy dandy ruler and draw a line across like so. Like so. And this is what I want, not this. This. Yes. Right there. That is what I want. And I'm going to cut that out of each of these. Now first I have to make a slab. The slab has to be this long and this high. Okay. So this is the height of the slab, and this is the length. Height, length. Like so. And I have to make 3 of them. Okay, so let me get started. I'm going to start by rolling each of these into a strip. And I'm going to try to make the strip the same, this length. Okay, I will be back. So as I was starting to form my strip, I realized that I missed kind of a critical step for you, and that is examine the condition of your clays. This is stiffest, this is stiff, this is medium, and this is softest. So I'm going to try to take these two and make them the same softness as this guy, okay? That means I have to use my conditioning block. So I'll start with just that much, a little bit less here, and try to work it in, and then by feel, I will try, my goal is to make this feel the same as this, and this to feel the same as this, and the 3 will feel the same as each other. All right, let me get this done. Okay, so I softened these two, and they feel much more like this one. These have been rolled through the thickest setting of the pasta machine. Here's my template. You can see the strip is a little bit wider, that's fine. So now I'm just going to start trying to sheet it. Okay. I'll start just by folding. And rolling it to get them together. Now, I have to make it this tall. Let's see, what am I gonna do here? I may have to do this several times. If that's the way it has to be, so be it. I'm gonna cut off a nice clean edge. And what happens if I cut this in 2/3? Oh, I would say that's almost 5 inches, so let's see, half would be 2.5 there, 1, and that's a math. Okay, how about there, 1 7/8, 1 7/8, 1 7/8, a little bit less, a little bit less. Let's try that. As I said, I might have to do it again. It could happen. Hello, little furball. Little furball. Now, how tall are you? Let's get up here. Let's see. That's good. So I know that the height is actually 2 thicknesses. It's actually 6 thicknesses of the thickest setting in the pasta machine. Now I have a decision here because you see the cane will be so very short. So what if I go to a smaller template and change the direction of the cane? In other words, make this the face, not that. Let's make a clean cut. It's hard to see with all these layers. From there and there. That's very close. But it did get lower, didn't it? Because the hexagon is smaller. So now we're probably looking at 5 thicknesses. There, 2, there, and maybe 5. Maybe 5. Okay, so I think I will move to the smaller one, the smaller template. Set this one aside and continue, and I will stack this up 5. 5, and let's see, I'm going to make it just a tad, like so. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5, and let us just take a look and make sure that it's tall enough. Cut off the end. Then let's do our comparison again. Yes, that's fine. So it's actually 5. And I will make the last one the same way, and then I will be back. So here are my 3 slabs, okay? So now what I'm going to do, let's start with cheddar cheese. Okay, I'm gonna take, and I adjusted this. I peeled it off and I rolled 1. So this is actually 5 thicknesses, not 6. It was originally 6, wasn't it? This is going to be a little easier if I cut this, actually. Now, they do sell hexagonal templates. Quilters use them a lot, but I don't know. I thought, well, why don't I just try to make my own paper template? There we go. Now I'm just going to take, just like that, and like that. Okay, and that's where I will cut. Now let me do the same thing on this side. And I did cut the 2 ends, so it's a little tidier. Just a bit tidier. And you know what? The cheddar cheese seems a little bit shorter than the others. I think I'm going to be okay, but it does seem a bit shorter. Maybe I should just do it over at this point. Okay, so you see those lines? Now I'm going to take the top and I'm going to connect them. Like so. All right, there's one cutting line, there's another, and there's another. So let's cut. I'm gonna wipe my blade off. I'm just wiping it off. I could probably wet it. It might make it a bit easier to cut, so let me just lightly wet the blade. Don't want it too wet, but now, as we've done before in other classes, let me just lower this. And unfortunately, you can't see, but what I'm going to do is start at the apex, and I've angled the blade. Now I'm just going to walk it down like so, and just take your time. You may go off a bit, but I think you can correct it later. But if you go nice and slow, okay. All right, so let's see what we have. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. I could hardly see the lines. I think I'm going to cut them a little deeper so that I can really see them. There were times when I was definitely using the force. Okay, so we're going to start again at the top. Oh, I feel it coming. You know, I can't really see. I can't see. I can't see. Okay, so there's another way of cutting if I seriously can't see. Okay? It's a little tricksy, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try cutting along this corner and here. All right. Walk down a bit. Walk it down a bit. So in one respect, it's easier because I can see, but in another way, it's definitely a bit more difficult because the cane or the clay is kind of torquing. Okay, well that worked out just fine. All right, so there's one. Now I'm going to repeat the process with the other two, and then I'll be back. Now, this one I stood up, that second cut, I stood it up on end. I'm not sure I'll be able to do it with this softer clay. I'm gonna try, but I may run into difficulties with it. We'll see. I cut them, and now we can put them together. Ta-ta. 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 When you put it together, make sure you go all the way up the middle. All right. Woohoo! Here's the last one. Put it right in the middle. Just like that. Yeah, you might want to do it this way. Just look at it as you put it together. Okay. That, I think, looks really good. Okay, now the only thing that doesn't look good to me is like this. So you want to inspect wherever the two triangles are meeting on the corners, and you want to make sure that they're meeting nice and neatly, and you have to make them. Okay. You can't just continue if they're not perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off the excess here. Let me just stand it up for a moment and slice some of it away. And okay, now I'm just gonna try to make that corner meet better. And it does. It does, it does, it does. Now I can probably shave a little bit from here. All right, so let's move to the next corner. Okay, so I have to shave both sides of this one, I believe, because this is kind of hanging over on this side and this is hanging over on the other side. So let me just stand it up and do my best just to slice away right at the corner, right here. Any excess gets cut away. All right, so I managed to do that. But you know what? I have to get that yellow. I have to get the yellow off. So I'm going to do the same thing. Just do my best to cut it away. I have a little bit of that lighter Ecru color, so that will be shaved away from this side. So the goal here is just to make each corner as nice as you can make it so that the two triangles to either side meet kind of perfectly in each corner like that. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, let me see first of all if I can close it just a little bit better. You see that it's kind of gaping apart, the yellow and the orange. The cheddar cheese is pulling away. All right, so I have a lot of extra cheddar cheese, so I'm gonna have to take my blade and do my best and just cut it away. Okay, now I have to do the yellow. Once again, do my best. great. Just push them together. Now, in the process of cutting away that excess at the corner, see how this goes and it comes out a bit? Well, I think it'll be better if I can just eliminate that extra clay. Oops, I'm mixing up my scraps. I had 3 neat little piles. I think it looks really good. All right, now on these others, I've been wrapping with black clay, and I like the way that looks. So I think I will prepare some black clay, and I will wrap it with a very, very, very thin sheet of black, and then we're going to reduce it. All right, I'll be back. So I added a lot of blackout to my scrap and made this very dark gray. Now I want this wrap to be kind of soft, okay? And the reason for that is because I keep these canes for a long time, and you know, I'll keep them large like this, and then of course it has to be reduced. And sometimes if that black or whatever wrap clay you have on the outside is very hard, it's really hard to get it soft again, and it may crack. Like if there are any sort of imperfections like that, it could crack. So I think that making it a bit softer is going to help me. Now I'm also going to make it quite thin. So I'll roll this through at setting 5 or 6. I will wrap it around, and then I will be back. Here we go. It's wrapped. Let's reduce. Okay, so I've done a lot of triangular reducing, and if you've watched any of the tutorial, you've seen it. So I don't think you need to watch me. So let me just do this, and I will get back when it's reduced to, maybe twice its length. Right now, it appears to be about 2.5 inches. I'll be back when I have 5 inches of cane. This is what I have so far, and you can see that the middles are sucking in a bit. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, so at this point, there's enough to start stretching. So there's a lot of twisting and pulling and twisting and pulling. Twist and pull. So I will continue and reduce this. I won't reduce the whole thing. I think I'll leave a portion of it thicker, as I have done with the others, because I don't want to be having to store like miles of reduced cane. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, so here is the reduced portion. I will keep it just like this. Here's the violet one. Here is the gray one. Oops. Oopsie. Doink. And here is the reduced. So you can see there's a hole in the large one. The more I pulled it out, the longer it got, the more stretched out it got. The hole just kind of closed up. Okay, so here we have, ta-da, the optical pyramid, another way of making it. So I've showed you one way with the gray, and then I showed you another way with the yellow one. Okay, I just thought you should know 2 ways. Why not? All right, so that's it for now. Until we meet again, I'm Donna Kato, signing off. All right, so I reduced, of course, and then I decided to make a couple samples just to see what would happen. So I made this, and then I went ahead and I made this, and you know what? Of course, I should have known it would happen, but the black, there's a lot of influence. The black influences the yellow quite a bit. By that I mean it sort of bleeds in, right? And of course it would. It doesn't do it here in this area because there's a lot of white there, but in the orange, the cheddar cheese, and in the yellow, of course, it does. That is not really acceptable. I mean, I'll use this. I'll use this in a mandala or something like that, but remember, I kept some. So what I did, because I think the black, it's better without the black, is I just cut it off. Okay, so now I have a cane without the black. Now, what am I going to do? Maybe I'll wrap it in white, maybe not. Because if you arrange it in a certain way, you get that tumbling blocks thing happening, right? And so maybe I will give that a go and see if that works. Now, the reason why it might not work is that this orange and the yellow are quite close. So it would be a very subtle kind of tumbling block. It would not be where, you know, the colors might not be as distinct as you would like them to be. But you know what? I will try that here. I'm going to shave off the black and wrap this with white, and let's see what happens. If you'd like, you know what? I'll show you the shaving part. You're just going to stand it up. Now, this is not terribly tall. The taller this stack is, the more difficult it is. And all I'm going to do is firmly anchor the end, and then with my blade, just start shaving the black off like this. And you can see I'm not cutting a lot away at the same time. And I don't really have to. Just take your time. And make sure you don't cut too deep. Don't cut too much away at once. You can keep cutting and keep cutting to remove it, just gradually. Okay, so there's one side. Of course, it's not through, so I'll just turn it over and just continue to try to remove just the black. Now, this might be a little more difficult if you're using or working with a very sticky, soft clay. But of course, my clay, Kato poly clay, is not all that soft and sticky, so it's totally doable. Totally. Okay. I'm almost there. Just remember, you're just shaving off clay. You're not hacking away at great big quantities. Just kind of remove little bits at a time, and you'll get there. All right, so this is almost done. I just have this one black area on this side, and then I will move to the next side. Okay, perfect. Now let me get the other two, and I'll be back. So I shaved all of it off the sides, much as I could, and now I have to address any black that's on the corners, so I'm just going to do this kind of thing to cut it away. Of course, this is totally possible because I'm using a nice even triangle cane here. Might be considerably more difficult if I had a round cane, but this is quite easy. I think I've shown you in some of my classes that if I make something that I don't like and I think I can improve it, I just go ahead and I do it. Because I know myself, if I don't like something, then it tends to not get used. It just sits around forever and ever. That's not really the goal, is it? It's a little difficult for me to see that line, so maybe I'll just leave it. Okay, so I think that's pretty darn good. And I guess what my attitude is, I've got very little to lose. What have I got to lose? Some clay. And it wouldn't be a tremendous loss because if I really didn't like this and I hadn't added any other colors to it, I'd smush it up and see what I get. Okay, so here are the two. Now, what I'm going to do with this smaller one is, actually, I'll use the larger one. I will reduce it, and we'll put this together like tumbling blocks, okay? I made this cane yesterday. It still has a really nice soft feel to it. All right, so let me just address each of the sides, and it's already starting to feel like, I can pull it out pretty easily. So let me continue. I will pull it out and then we'll put it together. Okay, I reduced it. Ta-ta. And I am just going to cut 1-inch pieces. This is as much just a little experiment as anything. Maybe 1.5 inches. Let's see, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. Now, I need to do inch. Just for purposes of our demonstration. There. Why not? Okay, let's put this puppy together. Okay, do I know how to do this? I'm not sure. Okay, somehow these guys go together. And obviously I am not a quilter. I like to sew, but I have never made a quilt. I could be doing this totally wrong too. I could be doing this wrong. Because as I said, I am not a quilter. but I believe it's going to come together like this. Da, 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 da. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Now let's take a look. So I believe that is tumbling blocks. Like here, maybe it'll be easier to see if I do it this way. So this way, because there you see one of the blocks right there. And then this block, clearly I need more pieces to get the image, but might be easier if I just cut a piece off, then you can see more clearly. But yes, there it is, right there. And then this guy, you know what? I'm gonna move this guy. And I'm gonna put this guy over here. There. And that is indeed tumbling blocks. You can see this is one tumbling block and this is another. So I think I will leave this as a sample for myself. Maybe bake a little piece. But the optical pyramid in yellow just turned into tumbling blocks. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now this I'm going to wrap in white, I believe. I will not wrap it in black. And this will find its home in my mini cane box. So let me do that. I will be back. So I wrapped in white. This is rolled through like setting number 7, so it's really thin. I'm going to reduce it out and then I will show you. So I have reduced the cane. Ta-ta! And now I think I will do this, and then I will show you the difference. I will be back. Oh, the way I do this? The way I do this, very simple. Okay, let's just quickly do this one. Doink. Okay, so I'm just going to cut 6, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to make like big canes. I just take little pieces and I put them together, all right? There's one. Let's see, I put the orange on the bottom like that. And then I am just going to put them together like so. So they are exactly the same. Orange is always on the bottom. The bright yellow is to the left. The ecru is to the right. Okay. Da, 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 like doink. And like this. Like a dead away. Like so. So it's just a sample, so I don't want to make a whole cane. I just want to make one piece so I can look at it. say that Louise was not happy. Doink, 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 doink. Okay, like that. And I will do the same thing just by cutting one piece. I'll be back. All right, so my pieces are cured. So the very same cane, different outline. This cane, well, it's a little bit larger, but that's not really as significant as the difference in the outline, the difference that the outline color makes. You can see, my goodness, look at that. Look at this. Okay. Ta-ta. I like this one much better. Much better. And I'm glad that I could correct it. This was a situation where I could actually correct and take this black outline off and replace it with the white. I took it off, and in this class I showed you the tumbling blocks. So I think that's it. Once again, the class takes an unexpected turn. But here we are. So anyway, I think it's time for me to sign off until we meet again in the classroom. Have a great day. Bye.